Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. You like that? 3, 1, 2, 3. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
Write it down. You like writing things down. Write this down.
Welcome into a Write That Down Wednesday here on Purple Daily, Daily Vikings Entertainment, and
Write this down.
weekly, largely incorrect Vikings and football-related predictions. The only show in America that's dumb enough to put statistics next to our predictions, gentlemen. Do we feel refreshed? It's a new season as of last week. The Super Bowl marks the end of the Write That Down season, and so a blank slate here for all of us.
I'm feeling good. I feel like I was in really good contention, and I perhaps atop the touchdown lead for a point of 2023. So my goal is to continue to really drive that ball down the field.
Okay. Love it. You're gonna have an average depth of target that's a little further down the field.
That's what I'm going to try. I'm not making any promises.
Your
Well,
ADOT.
Did you see the Mahomes figure on that yesterday?
The touchdown passes?
Yeah. Sharp
It's wild.
Football pointed out, I think like his average depth of target was no joke, like 2.5 yards
For touchdown passes.
for touchdown passes. So a lot of deep red.
His ADOT, as they say, as the analytical kids say, when Tyreek Hill was around like 4 years ago, his touchdown ADOT was 20 yards per touchdown. And now that they don't have as many downfield guys, his average touchdown throw, like Declan said, was like 3 yards. Just finding different ways to matriculate that ball into the deep red, into the end zone.
But the creativity of plays are probably unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
Love it.
So Patrick Mahomes, he'll get you from any range. Hey, before we get into predictions, accountability sessions, so earlier this week, I'm sure most of you, especially if you live in Minnesota, have heard, and if you're outstate, maybe you haven't heard, but earlier this week, Burnsville police officers, I want to get the name right, Paul Elmstrad and Matthew Rouge, and then firefighter and paramedic Adam Finseth were tragically killed in the line of duty. It's been all over the news, and these people have families that are left behind. It's just a really horrible situation. And we'd love to do something here at Score North and on Purple Daily. And so we've set up a donation page at scorenorth.com/donate to just help their families via the Frontline Foundation, which has already organized $60,000 split between the three families. So if you have $5 or $500, we would just ask you to consider donating to scorenorth.com/donate. Scorenorth.com/donate. Just a really, really horrible situation here that's played out Sunday into Monday in the Twin Cities. So, boys, let's transition to write that down here. 3 Vikings or football-related predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of completion percentage and touchdowns on the show. And listeners, if you want to participate like Austin, he's going to jump on here in a few minutes. You can send Declan a message through the Score North app, and we'll get you scheduled for some time in the coming weeks. Judd, we'll start with you. Nothing came off the board because it's kind of the dead period.
That's how it starts. Yep.
So in the absence of things coming off the board here, we will highlight predictions that are still on the board and get your thoughts on your predictions here. So you have Kwesi will not be the Vikings general manager for the 2024 season.
I was very aggressive. I must have been very upset with Kwesi.
What happened
at that
there?
time.
Do you still feel that way?
Boy, I'm trying to think of when I vaguely recall this, and there was something going on, but no, I do not. I think it's safe to say that this will end up in red at some point. Probably the end of week 1 to the end of week 1.
Yeah.
Next
Like-
season, or
like
this
what
season
would
or
have
next
to
season? Well, I don't remember why. Was this involving the draft? Something went wrong I don't even
know.
recall this, but anyway, no, it's going to be wrong.
I'm trying to think of what would have to happen. He'd essentially have to go rogue with the Kirk situation. Like
Something, yeah.
ownership demands that he signs Kirk, and then he lets Kirk get on a flight to Atlanta or something.
Fran Foley, like it turns out he fudged his resume back at the time. I don't know.
I could see that.
It ain't happening. It's gonna be wrong.
Nothing came off the board for me, so we'll highlight this one still on the board. I said season 2 of Quarterback on Netflix will include Joe Burrow. Are they doing quarterback again, or are they doing?
No.
Is it wide receiver?
I think they couldn't find a quarterback, so I think they pivoted to wide receiver. I think you're right.
Okay. So there still could be a season 2 of quarterback at some point. It's just not imminent.
Correct. And I think they did ask Burrow, and he might have said no. A bunch of guys said no.
A bunch of guys said no. I can't remember. Did Baker say yes?
Of course,
I don't know.
Baker.
I thought-
Baker would
I mean,
love
Baker
to see
should say yes.
Manziel said, I'll do it. I don't play in the league anymore, but I'll do it.
Yeah. I mean, after what it did for Kirk, I would think, I mean, it elevated Kirk's PR stock through the roof, right? Wouldn't you want to do it?
I think a lot of guys don't want that type of focus or attention when they're trying to work. Like you would have to be really manipulative. Well, I'll stop.
Wow. Okay, you want to elaborate? You can't say that on the number one Vikings podcast.
I'm just going to say you really have to be.
elaborate.
You want to have to manipulate your popularity a lot. And I thought Kirk was great, to be honest. I'm Team Kirk here.
These
but
drive-by shots.
I think a lot of guys don't want the attention during the season.
No filming on Tuesdays. Okay, listeners. Hunter said,
It's come out of nowhere.
The Vikings will win. This should have come off the board last year, so I did attribute this to last year's listener total. The Vikings will win a Super Bowl before the Twins win another playoff game. No faith in the Twins. Hunter, negative Hunter. Declan, nothing off the board for you, so we'll focus on one that is still on the board. You said the Vikings will execute a trade for this year's draft before the draft begins. Mm-hmm. What's your level of confidence here?
Low, but I will say if Kirk is signs elsewhere in like 3 weeks here, high. Then I think they'll lay out the plans like we've talked about on Purple Daily on draft before, where I think they will try to execute to move up immediately or pre-draft, then instead of moving up on the actual draft day. So right now low, but conditionally high.
Okay.
Okay.
So no statistics yet this season. Nothing has come off the board that attributes to this season. So we're all sitting even for 2024. All-time stats, Declan, 36.1% completions. Judd, 35.1%. I'm at 33.2%. Listeners, 22.5% completions. I have the most career touchdowns with 46. Declan has 41. Listeners, 39. And A. Judd looking to increase his average depth of target with 33 touchdowns.
New season. I think I might just chase the touchdown title.
We'll see if Judd sticks to that. Let's get Austin in the mix, making his debut. And it's his birthday, everyone. Wish Austin a happy birthday. What's going on, man?
Austin.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on the show. It's great to be here.
Thanks for coming on, dude. When did you become a Vikings fan? What's your story?
Oh, gosh. So in my family, it was really hard to not be a Vikings fan. Both mom and dad's side each had their own way of supporting the team. But on my mom's side especially, every time we had like a family get-together or it was Thanksgiving or Christmas at my grandma's place, there'd be the Vikings game on. There'd be a cribbage game going on over at the table, and people would be filtering in and out of the room. But there is one particular moment in history that really cemented my status as a Vikings fan. I've got a story with you guys, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I want to take you back to January 14th, 2018. Me and my dad and my siblings were all huddled around the TV watching the Vikings take on the Saints, and emotions were so high in our household. Just the ups and downs of that game were ridiculous. But when it all came down to it, I don't think anybody in the room was like breathing at that point. We were all sitting on the edge of our seat, and we thought that was going to be the end of an incredibly impressive Viking season. I mean, who could have predicted Case Keenum taking us that far? But as soon as he dropped back and unloaded that pass for Stephon Diggs, I remember it like it was yesterday, seeing him break towards the end zone. I couldn't believe it. Everybody was hooping and hollering and shouting, and I think I was so excited, like I ran outside and just belly flopped into the snow. Oh, that is the moment where I truly became a believer after having to endure through the Christian Ponder era, seeing Teddy Bridgewater get hurt. Heard he retired a couple of weeks ago. Congrats to him for such an amazing career. But yeah, no, I like you guys. I will ride and die with this group through their good seasons and the bad. So yeah.
Let's listen to Joe Buck here. Let's fire up Joe Buck here.
Steps into it. Pass is caught.
Oh.
Vikings win it!
And Austin outside into the snowbank. There he goes.
Yeah. Like it was yesterday, dude. Oh, what a moment.
Yeah, that was wild, man. Judd was at the game, covering the game, right?
Press
For
box.
1500 ESPN at the time. And Mike Morris, the superstar Mike Morris, and I were hosting Vikings Vent Line on the radio. And we had just, I think because we would start it right when the game ends. And so we literally we watched the play happen and then we hit the microphones and we were reacting in real time and people were calling in crying. Like adults who had never seen anything like this. Like there's no moments like that in Vikings history. If you're a Patriots fan or a New York Giants fan, there's all these moments, right? Not if you're a Vikings fan.
Judd and I are both in the locker room. There was Vikings players crying at their stalls. I mean, there was grown men crying at their stalls as well.
That's crazy, man. All right, now that we've got that feeling of positive Vikings
that
energy
Joe Buck
here.
call, man. Every time that Joe Buck call, I love that call.
It is one of the great calls of all time, for sure. So we're going to start with Austin, over to Judd, Declan, back to me. We'll make 3 trips around the room. So, Austin, you're the first out of the gate here, man.
Write this down.
Fire away.
All right, I'm going to channel my inner Quasi with this first one. Nice. And each of these predictions are going to get a little bit further into the future as we go. So write this down. Brian Flores, second year as defensive coordinator, he's going to go get his guys. I'm predicting some big change in the defense. So from week 18 of last season until week 1 of next season, write this down, we will have 4 new faces along the defensive line and 4 new faces in the secondary, so cornerback, safety. But in order for this to hit, there's a second part to this. Lewis Seen on the official week 1 depth chart will be no lower than safety 3.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the reason
so Harrison
for that
Smith
is,
probably out.
Probably, yeah. No, what a career. If he retires or goes elsewhere, he's been one of my favorite players. But we know Quasi, even back to his time in San Fran, his time in Cleveland, he will bet on athleticism. And, I mean, we saw that he picked Nick Bosa. Or was part of the group that picked Nick Bosa, Deebo Samuel, a couple of guys in Cleveland. And it would suck to see Lewis's Scene's career not go anywhere, but you can't deny that the guy has talent. Before he hurt his leg, what was the injury again? It was a leg injury, wasn't it?
A compound fracture in his leg, yeah.
The bone went through the leg, unfortunately.
Yeah. There's blood everywhere.
Oh my gosh. Gosh, I hope he's still making a good recovery. But if you look back to his time at Georgia, he has ridiculous athleticism. The guy can move up into the box and make plays. He can drop back and match guys with ridiculous speed. He has talent and potential still. So I think to write him off would just be kind of a shame. Of course, it could go either way at this point, but I still have faith in the guy.
Okay. I mean, they definitely, they barely have. So you're saying 4 new defensive front and then 4 new secondary, right? And right now they don't have any guys up front under contract except for Harrison Phillips, basically. So
that's right.
They got work to do.
Write
that
it down.
part,
you like writing things down.
That part might be easy, but the Scene one, I don't know. That feels pretty up in the air. We'll see.
Yeah. Judley?
All right. As part of some cap cutting moves, write this down. Eric Kendricks and Patrick Peterson will be released by the Chargers and Steelers in March, respectively.
Declan's shaking his head.
Why?
Why even play the hits of Vikings players who no longer play for them? What would be the point of this one?
Why? Yeah, you're a couple things here. Okay, this is, by the way, this is all within the parameters. This is a prediction.
I'm not,
okay?
I was going to say, what's the complaint?
2 things. One, you're shoveling dirt on former Vikings players, which you love to do. You love to bury former Vikings players like they're enemies. Okay?
I do.
Why?
And secondly, you just went on a rant about how you're going to try and throw touchdown passes, improve your ADOT, and you picked on like 2 old NFL codgers and said, these 2 old inflated payroll guys are going to get cut.
Are going to get cut. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Just clarifying.
It's a couple of old guys who I think are going to be cut.
All right, here's a draw play on 1st and 10 for the Vikings, and it's a gain of 2 yards. Yeah.
Very arbitrary areas where you become upset at my prediction.
Do we need to bury Eric Kendricks any more than him getting cut by his favorite football team last year? The guy's got a family, and here you are.
He's a great guy. You know what? He lives in California. He ain't gonna.
And he's going to get his ass cut, and he's never going to play again.
Judd
No
will
respect.
make a Jason Zucker prediction on the traditional version. I'll write that down. That's an unofficial off the record
You're
prediction.
very close to being correct.
It is funny, though. Judd gets so mad at Vikings players who age and aren't the same as they
Well,
were
no,
in their
I get
prime.
mad at fans and players who think that they have a right to stick around. You can age all you want, but when I cut your ass, don't act like I can't believe this guy.
And then
got cut.
when I cut your ass, it ain't done there. I'm going to still come back
I'm
for
gonna
you and write
recut
that
your
down.
ass because you're old and you're a football player.
Write this down.
All right, Declan.
All right, so to pick on myself, because I did see, even though I'm the reigning, defending, undisputed champion of Purple Daily, write that down, that I took some heat for the pop culture predictions that I made to kind of help me boost my final stats. So because of that, I'm going to continue to make more pop culture predictions on Write That Down.
As long as they're related to football, they
are related to
technically do
football.
fit in the parameters of this. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm going to start with this one. Blake Prohl, the former Vikings wide receiver who just made American Idol in the tryout edition. He's going to Hollywood. Write this down. He'll be among the top 5 finalists in this season of American Idol.
Wow. Simon Cowell doesn't still judge on that show,
No,
right? It's been a
I
while.
don't think so. I think it's Katy
Katy Perry?
Hold on. Yeah.
Lionel Richie.
Oh, Lionel
And I
Richie.
don't
Let's go.
know who the other. Oh, it's Luke Bryan. Luke Bryan.
Oh, man.
So you're gonna throw shade at me for a couple of predictions about
Yep.
old players,
We're
and then
playing
you're
the hits,
gonna,
baby.
and then you're gonna take
We're
a
playing
guy
the
that,
hits.
that wasn't worth a damn as a football player and make a top 5 predict. Like at least give me he's gonna win it.
No, that's what I call Write That Down. You know, like the Now That's What I Call
Hey,
music
but
CDs from back in the day.
But then
This
you
is
can't
Now
throw
That's
shade
What I
at
call
me for
Write
my
That Down.
predictions.
You can chast. That's fine.
Then you can't throw shade at me.
We can throw shade at each other.
Oh, man.
Bill, what do you got?
All right, I'll play it.
Write
I'll
this
play a
down.
hit too. I'll make a Kirk Cousins prediction. That's what everyone wants from me.
that's
I know
great.
it.
They do.
Okay, write this down. By the way, man, there's a clip going around from our guy Alex Boone and Jeremiah Searles that people are coming at those guys for ripping on Kirk for not working on Tuesdays. So have fun out there on Twitter. So let's make this one. Let's go with, I think, sometime before March. When does the league year? It's like March.
13th? Is it 13th?
Like when? Like the 15th is like the day you can actually sign players, right?
No, the 11th is the legal tampering,
Legal tampering.
and 13th is the first date that it's official. But don't forget, all of the stuff starts to be reported on the 11th.
Yep. So I'll say this by March 18th.
Okay.
So pretty quickly in the process, by March 18th. So within a week of the tampering window opening up, Kirk Cousins will either sign with the Falcons or will, via credible report, have visited with the Falcons.
Oh God, yeah, yeah, for sure.
Okay. It's probably not a touchdown because they're they're out
No,
there.
if that gets done, that's probably done on the 11th.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed
Wouldn't that
to,
be
I should
funny
say.
if, hey, there's no tampering around here, but we can negotiate an $80 million 2-year deal with
They
5
changed
minutes
the
after
rule.
the clock hits?
They changed to what they call the legal tampering period. Do you guys remember about 10, 15 years back?
Albert Hainsworth.
Albert Hainsworth. And that's back when free agency started at 11 p.m. Central.
You can't
Honest
have
to
no communication
Zero.
until this, and it was like the minute after it
With
was like
details.
a 7-year, $100 million
The whole
complicated
thing, the whole contract was reported.
private
and,
jet
like,
travel.
yes, that's good memory.
Write
Phil.
this down.
Okay, back to Austin, birthday boy Austin. Second prediction.
Okay. Prediction number 2, and this is going to be a big one. Write this down. At the end of the 2024-2025 season, a Minnesota Vikings player will walk away with a Rookie of the Year award.
Oh,
So
Ah.
I believe that would be the first time since Percy Harvin won it back in 2009. Should have been 2020, arguably, Mr. Justin Jefferson. But yeah, no, we've had some drafts in the past couple of years. I'm banking that
You're kind.
Kwesi and the team are going to get it really right with this one.
Yep. I think Jordan Addison looked like he had a chance for a while to flirt, but he didn't even get. I don't even think he got a top 10 vote because there were so many great rookies last year. C.J. Stroud, Puka Nacua, all these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's with backup play. Addison almost made it having to go through the quarterback carousel. So
Oh yeah.
something
Totally.
to be said about that. Yeah.
Yep.
Write this
And
down.
don't forget too, in 2020, Justin Jefferson could not play in those first 2 games. He certainly could not start. If you guys recall,
Right.
he wasn't good enough. He wasn't good
How
enough
about
to
that?
start in
Isn't
those
that
first 2
crazy?
games.
Mike Zimmer, like, nah.
BC.
Poor BC started.
He's like, I don't trust this guy. Let's keep trotting out everybody else. And then as soon as he got onto the field, there was no turning back.
The Titans game, that Titans touchdown. It's like, oh, that guy is good.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, he's a football player. Oh, he's
Why
one of
don't
the
we
greatest
start him
wide receivers ever. Okay, let's go. That's great. All right,
right.
Judd, your second prediction.
Yeah, write this down. A Vikings prediction. The Vikings will open the 2024 season with a quarterback who is not Kirk Cousins and will score on their opening drive of the season. A touchdown.
Fascinating.
So I'm not predicting because I'm not sure. I could, but then I'm probably wrong. But the quarterback will not be Kirk. But more importantly, they will immediately score on that first drive.
So it could be score anything, right? Could be a field goal, just as a
I said
scoring drive or touchdown. Okay.
No, I'm going
Yeah.
touchdown.
Okay.
Okay.
There's some ADOT. There it is.
And that, my friends, is how you throw a touchdown pass.
We're gonna call him JDOT going forward. Judd, depth of target. Let's go.
Write this down.
Declan.
All right, so I was going to use this on our original version, Minnesota Sports, Mackey and Judd, but then I realized because it's football related, it actually applies to Purple Daily. So write this down. Jason Kelsey, the Philadelphia Eagles center, who is still in limbo about if he's going to play or not. Sorry, Judd, for giving you so much crap for that prediction.
Yeah, when I tried to, and then our boss
You can go ahead and make that again if you want to.
Had to basically chastise you two.
You chastised me in person. I know
It
over
was
text
bullying.
message. Yes, yeah,
because
it
that was bullying.
It was.
I was bullied.
But write this down. Jason Kelsey will be involved at WrestleMania this year in Philadelphia. And by involved, I will say will get in the ring. Because I think he goes. He goes. He's been on. He's a big wrestling fan. Both of them are. The Kelsey fans are.
Shocking.
And in fact, Seth Rollins came out and said, invite your brother. Invite Taylor Swift. Invite all the Swifties. I don't care. But I'm going to quantify this that I don't want to just, because it'd be lame if they just show him on camera because celebrities go to the WrestleMania. Jason Kelsey will be involved at WrestleMania, and the quantifiable factor is he will get in the ring and do body slam. If he body slams someone, can you imagine that Philadelphia crowd?
You know who would be perfect for
so
this
cool.
is The Miz. But the Miz is currently a good guy, so you'd have to find a bad guy that can be
I would.
a foil.
I might just Venmo him somehow myself if he can just body slam Logan Paul, because I loathe that man with my entire fabric. I can't stand Logan Paul. So I would love if Jason Kelly like belly flopped onto him or just slammed him through a table or something. That'd
Or
be
McAfee.
phenomenal.
What if it's like a football on football?
Actually, that makes a lot of
podcaster
sense.
on podcaster
That
crime?
makes a lot of sense.
Oh wow!
Fun.
That's good.
See that for
Or they
sure.
tag team with one another or something. Yeah.
Oh,
that'd be great.
let's go, dude.
Checked it.
Write this down.
Okay, write this down. Justin Jefferson will not have a new contract with the Vikings when the Vikings report to training camp on day one.
Whoa.
He will not have a new contract with the Vikings on day one of training camp. Now, that could mean that he has a new contract somewhere else after they've traded him, or it could just mean that the negotiation carries through up until training camp and there's a holdout situation happening. I'm just saying when training camp hits, he will not have a new contract with the Vikings.
Okay.
Write it down. Okay.
Write this down.
Austin, your final prediction?
All right. I'm swinging for the fences here. I'm Babe Ruth pointing towards center field.
Love it. My
At
grandma
the
was
end
at that
of
game,
the-
by the way. My grandma was literally at that game.
Really?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
From Chicago.
Time
Unless
travel.
she could have been
That's
full of
the
crap,
first
but she
place I'm going.
told me she was at
Everyone
the
in
game.
Chicago that day said they were at that game.
Yeah.
I'm not buying grams.
Sorry, Gams.
So,
Okay.
sorry, Nana.
Write this down. And this is a little ways out into the future. So, in between the end of next season and the beginning of the season after, whoever the Vikings quarterback is, this guy is going to be a consensus top 12 QB in the league. Across PFF, across NFL.com, wherever you look. Maybe it's a rookie who has a CJ Stroud level breakout. Maybe it's Kirk who continues to play great into like getting closer to his 40s. Maybe it's a veteran guy. Maybe it's a journeyman who comes in and has a career resurgence. This guy is going to be it.
Can we, to quantify, this is a great prediction. To quantify it, can we say, because PFF has their own ranking system and then ESPN has their own QBR, can we say just pick two of them, like according to PFF and ESPN measurements?
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Want to make sure that we can quantify it beyond like, Judd's top 15 quarterback rankings or something.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
What's wrong with those?
Nothing's wrong with those. I just want to know how we're
Put a lot of work
quantifying
into
the
those.
prediction. So, Austin, birthday boy Austin, great work with your predictions here. Hopefully, you've got a fun day lined up after this. But since this is the pinnacle moment of your birthday and maybe even of your life on Purple Daily here, this huge, gigantic moment, is there anyone you'd like to thank that brought you to this point?
I do have a couple people. I want to thank my mom's side of the family for out of pettiness, planting Green Bay Packers signs that say a Packers fan lives here in each other's yards just to mess with each other. I want to thank both my parents for after church every Sunday taking us to Quick Trip, pick up some donuts, and to go home and watch the Vikings game every Sunday, rain or shine, win or lose. And I want to thank you guys. I started listening to you about this same time last year. Found you on Spotify and just getting your insight. Obviously you guys are really like in with the team. Getting to hear your guys' opinions and getting to hear you guys talk about the Vikings has really just brought me closer to my favorite team. So yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks,
man.
guys.
Thank you for the kind words, Austin. Happy birthday again. And we'll definitely see you again sometime. All right.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.
All right. There he is. Austin. Speaking of Quick Trip, by the way,
Yep.
Judd's got the hoodie. Quick
Yep.
Trip is along for the ride here with us on Purple Daily. Kruba coffee
for Declan. Austin gets it. Quick Trip. Quick Trip is the place to go. Why? Because it's got something for everybody. That's the most important thing. Deck's got the Kruba coffee, but you also can stop and get a quality gas guarantee, which means every drop of gasoline that goes in your car from Quick Trip, guess what? It is guaranteed. Not to mention the fact that they just made mealtime a whole lot easier with freshly prepared meals from the Quick Trip kitchen, which are fantastic. Spaghetti and meatballs, mac and cheese, beef stroganoff. So many options, so many choices. How can it be at one place? Because it's Quick Trip, the place that you should stop. And of course, appreciate them being the presenting sponsor of Purple Daily.
Amen. Also, so we are switching merchandise platforms, and nothing's going to change in terms of where you can find our merch. It's scorenorth.com/shop. But because we're changing vendors behind the scenes, everything in the current store at scorenorth.com/shop is 20% off. So all your Before I Die hoodies, t-shirts, the Victory Monday hoodies, Purple Daily, Flagrant Howl, Score North swag, all of it with the promo code SALE at checkout is 20% off. Scorenorth.com/shop. Promo code SALE at checkout for 20% off. Okay, boys.
Write this down.
Judd, your third and final prediction.
Okay, my third and final prediction will be very Declan-like because I'm going off the board from the traditional football as we think of it, and I'm going to go to the new Arena Football League. Well, it's actually the old and now new because it's returning. And you can write this down. The Minnesota entry in this league will win the AFL title this season. The championship, just for point of reference, will be played at the home of this team. I believe it's the Myth, right? It will be
Myth. That sounds
the Minnesota Myth. That's not the home, though. Myth is not the home. Target Center is the home.
Yeah.
The name is Myth.
The home
right?
of the Myth will be Target Center, which is also where the championship game is going to be played.
Yeah.
So they will win. They not only will win the title, they will do it on their home field at Target Center. The Minnesota entry will win the Arena Football League title.
Do we have rosters yet? Like, who's our quarterback?
Yeah.
Do we know?
Somebody just, I think I saw a couple of signings go down, but no, I've not seen one for this team yet.
Okay.
I have not seen one yet.
Well, maybe we can launch like a Myth Daily show on YouTube, Spotify, Apple.
Ricky Foggy, coach. I do know that.
Old school.
Yeah. You can bet I'm making some AFL predictions here in the coming weeks. That's happening. That's 100% happening.
trying to get a jump on you. That's
Need
why
some spreads, though.
I'm going to
coming.
games, dude. I want season tickets. Somebody contact
Let's do
me.
It's not
I
far
need some
from
season
you.
tickets.
Yeah, you can eat.
Yeah, go for it.
I need
Write this
season
down.
tickets.
Could probably
I'm sure
walk.
you can get single game tickets, Phil, without any problem. You don't need to get in on the action.
I want to live the sweet life in the Arena Football League. Okay, Declan, your third and final prediction.
I'll make a draft-related prediction. Write this down. A little bit of dangerous prediction here, potentially, but only 2 quarterbacks will go in the first 3 picks of the NFL draft. I don't think it'll go quarterback. I think only 2 go in the top 3. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. goes at number 3. I wouldn't be shocked if it's quarterback, but I would be pretty surprised if it was 3 straight quarterbacks off the board. So only 2 quarterbacks will go in the first 3 picks of this year's draft. Write it down.
Okay, final prediction here. Then we'll get to a new segment and a mock.
Write this down.
So usually 3-item parlays are touchdowns on this show because it's hard to hit a 3-item parlay. You guys might have to let me know if I need to add something to this, but I'm going to give you a franchise tag parlay. 3 guys who will be franchise tagged.
Okay.
And you tell me if this is, I mean, there's a pool of like 15 or 20 candidates that are probably eligible or good enough, right? So it's not like the whole league. But I'm going to say Josh Allen, the Jaguars edge rusher, will be franchise tagged. I think the Buccaneers franchise tag safety Antoine Winfield Jr. You don't see many safeties get franchise tagged.
You don't.
And I think a name that we've talked about as a Vikings candidate, Justin Madubuike, interior pass rusher from the Ravens, will also be franchised.
That's
I don't think they want to see him walk
You
away.
don't need to add to that.
Okay.
That's a
Those 3 guys are going to get franchised. And the deadline for that is like a week before free agency. So that's
It
coming up.
started yesterday, right?
Yeah, the window's open.
The window
You can
started
start.
yesterday.
So we can start franchising, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go, boys. Write that down.
Write this
The
down.
accountability session here, the only show in America that's dumb enough to put statistics next to our predictions. I think because we may only have like 3 more weeks of heavy Kirk Cousins speculation, maybe ever if he signs somewhere else, right? We're 3 weeks away, less than 3 weeks away from
Unless we follow him.
Falcons Daily.
Change the name of the show. and
Raiders
just decide-
Daily.
And then we're like, we take off the masks and say, oh my God, they were Crusaders all along. We were working undercover.
But whether he goes somewhere else or I guess even if he stays with the Vikings, the speculative discussion will then be on hiatus for a while. So we really only have like 2 or 3 weeks left of heavy Kirk Cousins speculation. So let's do a new daily segment or near daily segment, even if it's only for a couple minutes. Sometimes it might be the whole episode, depending on the latest updates. But we're going to call it Kirk Watch 2024. Kirk Watch 2024.
I like it.
Do you like that? Okay.
I do like that. Yes.
So there's going to be a combination of things that pop up in the news. It could be questions that we have that we kick around on our little text thread that we want to take to the show. And I'm going to bring a question that Judd floated to us via email here and throw it out to you guys. What if Kirk hits the market and the market isn't what he thought it was? Because right now the Vikings are kind of saying, and the Albert Breer report had this a couple days ago, saying we're not going to guarantee a lot here. We're looking for a bridge quarterback. We love you. Let's do a 7th year together. We'll guarantee a year, but we really need to keep our options open after that. And Kirk and his camp are saying, oh, pish posh. I'm Kirk Cousins. I am the 4th quarter comeback master. I am the secondary slayer, okay? Somebody is going to give me at least 2 years guaranteed. So we ain't signing that garbage contract you just offered. We're going to go talk to the Falcons. We're going to talk to the Raiders. We're going to talk to the Steelers. We're even going to talk to the 49ers because we are single and we can talk to whoever we want to. Okay, what if he talks to those teams and they're like, you know what? We're not going to give you 2 years guarantee. We're not going to give you $40 million. Does he come back with his tail between his legs to the Vikings? If you're the Vikings and this happens a few days into free agency, have you already moved on to like a Tannehill? Or what happens if the market doesn't bear the fruit that Kirk thinks it will?
Well, I did throw out the question largely because I have no clue, but it's plausible. Okay. So the national perception, I was watching, I think it was the ESPN show yesterday, and it's very interesting. The national perception, their reckless speculation, is to push the narrative of a Bears-Falcons trade that sends Justin Fields to the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
He lives in Atlanta. He's younger. He would probably only at this point cost you a second-round pick. He's not going to cost you a ton. And so, like, they're not even discussing Cousins to the Falcons, which, of course, we are. But yet, this to me is so intriguing because if you're the Vikings and Kirk comes crawling back, and let's just assume that there was a definitive offer made, okay? So like the Vikings, I do think that there's a very good chance the Vikings will make an offer before free agency starts. But if Kirk and Mike McCartney come crawling back, and now you are on the hook no matter what, you can't undo the fact that you have 28.5 million in dead cap. So it's basically a cap hit of Kirk on your books. Do you say, okay, we'll take you back? And now you signed him, and now your cap hits go up exponentially because of that. So to me, and Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk did a whole column on this morning, and his point was back in 2018, it was basically the Vikings and Jets.
Yep.
So his point back then was with Cousins really at a zenith, right? At that time, starter, healthy as could be, that it wasn't like 5 teams. It was really 2 teams. So this curse to me is far more plausible than I probably thought previous to going through the machinations of where this might go.
Here's another thing that could happen. So there's the March 13th deadline. So it's 13th, right? So you can, at the combine, you can illegally tamper. You're not supposed to, but like we've talked about it the whole week, going back to last week too, that you're going to have an idea next week at the combine, which teams are going to be interested, maybe even what the money might look like. Yep. And then you've got the actual negotiating window, right, that opens up before his contract voids, technically, correct?
Correct.
So you've got like a week and a half, 2 weeks where you're going to be able to find out a lot of information. Is it possible that maybe only one other team emerges in the market and it's kind of a slower process? Could Kirk and his agent go back to the Vikings and say, hey, we'd like to actually keep you warm, so could we extend the void date deadline to like March 20th so that you can still be in the mix as we talk to these other teams?
Okay, on the surface, yes. I have heard different things about when the expiration for that void date to be extended is. That's what I don't know. It might be sooner than that.
Oh, okay. Because it's being on over the cap and it's being reported as the 13th, right?
Well, but I'm saying as far as the void date being moved, yes, the money kicks in on the 13th. But what I'm saying is, and I can't get this confirmed. I don't know what the date is to do a potential extension of the void date itself. So let's just say kick the void date. That's what you're saying, right?
Yep.
Kick the void date into, I don't know, April if you can or something. I don't know on that. So, but yes, the scenario that you just painted is possible. Absolutely. Don't you guys think the Cousins camp, though, should come away from the combine knowing exactly what they need to know?
Yes. You're going to know who's interested. But here's the other thing. And this is probably a separate talker for another Kirk Cousins watch segment, maybe tomorrow. There's other guys in the mix, too. If there's a musical chair games of quarterbacks, right? The Falcons need a quarterback. The Commanders need a quarterback. There's like 6 teams. We've listed all of them. Maybe 5 or 6 teams. Raiders. Well, there's a bunch of first-round picks you could just go get. If you're the Commanders and you need a quarterback, well, you could just draft one, right?
Yeah.
If you're the Patriots need a quarterback, they could just draft one. So that maybe leaves, let's say, 3 teams that need a quarterback that didn't draft one in the first round. Well, Justin Fields is available to be traded for, and Ryan Tannehill is out there as a bridge guy, and Baker Mayfield's out there also. There's Jacoby Brissett. I'm not saying that these guys are as good as Kirk right now or pre-Achilles injury, but
you don't know.
If a team is saying, well, we could just, we're probably going to draft a guy next year anyways. We'll just bring in Tannehill for a year for $6 million or $10 million. We don't need to get into the Kirk Cousins $80 million over 2 years game. So there's the supply and demand question here as we get into the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yep, and then in the column that Florio did this morning on PFT, he also, and he's probably not wrong, he also insinuates that what if guaranteed contracts are off the table now because of wink, wink collusion of this is bad for us. See, I think this might involve the Jefferson thing too. Like when we hear that the Vikings are balking about guarantees, right? It sounds like full guarantees to Justin. I wonder if that's not just a Vikings thing. I wonder because if you guys recall in 2018, the Vikings 1,000% got heat.
Yeah.
Like the rest of the league was saying, what the hell are you doing? Ziggy, Mark, what are you doing?
Yep.
And I think there's long been a silent collusion. Let's just say that when the owners congregate in March, I think there's been a cold shoulder turned to those who decide to get creative with contracts. Going back to when the Vikings poison-pilled the Seahawks' ass with Hutchinson and Paul Tagliabue, his head popped off his shoulders.
Well, I think I'm right on this. One reason why owners don't like to do guarantee contracts, obviously like injury risk and the volatility of football is one thing, but for guarantee contracts, you have to take the amount that's guaranteed and put it in an escrow account. So you have to in case the league, if the league blows up or something, no, that's a signed contract and that is guaranteed money. So if you guarantee a guy $80 million, I believe you need to put $80 million into an escrow account that the league oversees.
I think that's still the case. I think you're right.
So it's some of these guys are like, I don't want to write. My God, I know we're raking in money in the NFL, but I don't want to write a $75 million check and put it in escrow.
And then it's gone.
Yeah, it's not appreciating and whatever. So
yep.
So all right, there's your Kirk Cousins watch 2024.
There are tentacles off of this that we are like stumbling across on a daily basis too.
Yeah, it's
there's some really interesting tentacles.
There's a lot of layers. We should maybe tomorrow. Well, tomorrow's Thursday, so maybe it's more of a Friday or an early next week discussion. But we should map out the musical chairs here. All the teams that are starting with the Bears, because they're kind of the will they trade Fields, will they draft Caleb Williams, and then the teams that might draft a quarterback, the supply and the demand of the market, and how that might impact.
I like it.
Kirk's situation. We should do that. If we can do it this week, we will. Otherwise, it's a great Monday topic. So I do have a mock for you guys before we go. Presented.
I want a mock.
By our friends at Livia, Judd. Let's lose some weight here, audience. Let's get on our A game. Come on.
Absolutely. And there's only one place to go. Been talking about it for a long time. That's our friends at Livia Weight Control Centers right there. That sports dad down 40 pounds. How? Because Livia works. And here's the best part. They're not only going to help you drop that weight, they are going to help you keep that weight off. They're dietitians and nutritionists. Absolutely outstanding. Absolutely 1,000% supportive. And believe it or not, despite all the things I just said, I buried the lead. I buried the lead because you're going to get your first 3 months for free. That's right. So you're going to be losing weight. You're going to be feeling great. You're going to be fitting into those clothes that probably after a long winter, being on the couch perhaps, don't fit now. Well, guess what? 3 months for free. You're losing weight. You're just starting. And you are going to continue to take those unwanted pounds off. 855-GO-LIVEA. Livia.com. Livia Weight Control Centers. Livia, LIVEA.com. Find out what the success of weight loss is like I have, and of course, a lot of people who watch our shows.
I want a mock.
Okay, boys, this one is from footballguys.com.
Football.
Ooh.
That's right, footballguys.com.
This rivals like Walter Football as far as names.
This is a 4.0. It's a 4.0 here from footballguys.com.
Okay.
Starting with the Bears taking Caleb Williams, number 1. The Commanders taking Drake May, number 2. And we have a trade to the number 3 spot here. On the clock with the number 3 overall pick now, the Minnesota Vikings.
Football. I love footballguys.com. Never heard of them until right now. Love them.
Trade details. Vikings send the 11, so we swap the 11 and the 3, plus the number 42, a 2025 first, a 2025 second, and a 2026 second round pick to the Patriots.
That's probably not wrong. It might be one.
That is wild.
Too many, but yeah, that's probably not wrong to get to 3.
So you trade all that draft capital to move up to number 3 to take your quarterback of the future, the guy that you are dead set on being the one to lead this franchise into the new era. Quarterback out of Michigan, J.J. McCarthy.
I want a mock.
Oh boy.
Football guys.
Wow.
Okay, football guys, I was so with you on this. Who'd they pass on?
What do you mean? What?
So who went first? Who went second again?
Oh, Caleb Williams and Drake May.
Drake May.
So they passed on Jaden
Jaden Daniels. Yeah.
That's
they
what
passed
I
on
thought. That's who they were
everybody
gonna take.
except for Caleb Williams and Drake May.
Yeah, so I
to
thought
draft.
that they were going to take Jaden Daniels there.
It says the NFL is higher on J.J. McCarthy than the media is. McCarthy's combination of decision-making, competitive toughness, and athleticism gives him a ton of upside as an NFL signal caller. He should sit and learn for a year, but the Vikings can get aggressive here to acquire Kirk Cousins' successor.
Okay, I think you can get him at 5 from the Chargers pick.
I don't know. Let's see where they have Jaden Daniels. I'm just going to scroll down. They've
Why
got
is
him
Jaden
going.
Daniels falling?
Ooh, Raiders at 6.
I
He's not
think
falling that far. He's
Okay, I think Drake May is falling more than Jaden Daniels right now.
I feel like this is a more plausible scenario than people are accounting for. That J.J. McCarthy rises way up, like up into the top 10. I think you're talking about a 4 quarterback top of the draft more than maybe people are giving credit for right now. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens at the combine.
I would be shocked if Jaden Daniels with that skill set falls that far.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's falling to 6, so
That's
it's really
a big fall. That's a big fall in this draft. Let's not confuse this. I think you could get 5. I think McCarthy going 5 might be considered a stretch, but I could see that.
Yeah. So there it is, thefootballguys.com with their mock here.
Good for them for making trade stuff.
Boy, if that happens on draft night, April 25th, at the Fillmore, which is where the 3rd annual Purple Daily Draft Party is going to be, that place, the roof is going to blow off. The chandeliers are going to shake if the Vikings trade up to the number 3 slot. And you're going to want to be in that building. Tickets are free, and we will unveil information about how to get tickets in the next couple weeks. But yeah, you're going to want to be in there. It's been a blast the last couple years. We're taking it to a bigger venue. So mark your calendars, Thursday, April 25th, the Purple Daily Draft Party.
Be awesome.
Let's go.
I will swanton bomb from that chandelier. I hope our insurance is all good to go because I'm climbing on top of that thing.
We will
and
be
going through the
immediately
table.
evicted and never allowed
Worth
back
it.
in the film.
Worth
Oh,
it.
God. By
Worth
God.
it.
By God. Don't do it. Don't
Don't do it, Jeff. Don't do it.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow for a Thursday edition of Purple Daily. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.